Okay, hello. We're just going to change the title of this stream very quick. So it's going to be Data Analysis, Excel, NHTSA, Crash Data, Example 1. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so today we are going to do some very interesting things. We would like to show using data that there is a direct correlation between the impact of a vehicle with a barrier. So we have tons of data here. Okay, so there's a lot of data in this area, and the data here is basically indicative. So we just have two important sheets of data here. You can just ignore all the rest here. So the data in NHTSA frontal data would indicate the injury per passenger. So this is really important. So we have HIC, which is head injury, clip 3M, which is chest injury, and left femur, which is the force load on the left femur and the right femur, which is basically the upper part of the leg. So if we can connect these two sheets, and I do not know how, okay, we can draw a very good conclusion and basically just look into the data. So here we have the other part of the data that we need to look at, which is the NHTSA has given us BIX, BIY, and BIZ. And so what basically these say is these are coordinates, X, Y, and Z coordinates, before and after a test. And the point is, okay, so you can see here that there are many tests. And so what I've done, and what you can do later, is I've summed all of these up. So I've summed these, okay, and I have put them, so the BIX, BOY, and Z, I've summed them here, okay, and like given the total delta X for a specific moment in time, okay. So like looking into these tests that we have, we'll realize that we have BIX, BIY, and BIZ values. And after, so what I've done here is, I think, now I haven't looked into this data for a long time, so I have like subtracted these values, the after and the before, and put them here. Okay, so I've done that for every single row or for every single test that I have. And in this consequence, I have some interesting data to look at. So basically, I think that minus 935 sums up from P3 to P14. Yeah, so this is the interesting data that we're looking at, but that is completely useless because when we work later on, it'll just sum all of these up for a set test. Okay, so now that we have these two sheets, and let's just check up on our current viewers. I don't know, how is there no viewers? That is seriously weird. Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look into our sheet. Okay. So we would like to bring a big sheet and put them together. But before we do that, we would like to be more critical of our analysis. So to be critical, we can't just use all of this data. Now you can see here in IPCOMD that there are various points that we place the sensors at. Okay, so we only need, for this example in this video, we need the topan point. So of many topans, we're just going to take all the topans here. So I'm going to deselect all. So as you can see, I've just selected the filter. Okay, it's right over here. And applied filter. Now I've de-applied filter, so I'm just going to click again. And I'm going to select Topan. I'm just going to write here in that search, I'm going to write Topan. And I'm going to find all the Topans that I have. So I'm just going to deselect, and basically I'm going to select all the Topans that I have. Now, the points here are indicative. If you look into the NHTSA handbook, it would be points that are placed on any point or any plate of consideration here. So we just select all these, okay, and that would filter out the data. Only have rows where the things that I've selected are at. Okay, so I select here, and if I click the filter again, I only find Topan has been selected. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Okay, so in this example, I've chosen Topan because, like, honestly, I think it would be better if, like, because the Topan is right in front of the area of impact. So it's very indicative of the abuse or the damage that the car has gone through. Okay, so the Topan, so basically it's called intrusion of the Topan. It's a measure, our delta x is going to be a measure of how much it has crushed forward. Okay, so second thing second, now we want to make sure that, so there's some things we want to clear. So yeah, we want to make sure it's the driver's side that we were considering. So passenger side goes off. Okay. We also want to consider, let me look at this. I think in this sheet we are done. So we're going to move on to the other sheet. Okay. And we are going to select only vehicles that are four-body, four-door sedans, okay? Because that is the kind of analysis. I want to be as accurate as possible. Now, if you wanted, you can select one make of a car only and see how that is. But we only have limited data, so I do not recommend doing that. So I'm just going to select all and say OK. So now we move on here to the left front seat. Now, I want only left front seat data for the people, because that is what I'm considering. What else? Yes, I want 50 percentile people, because that's gonna be the more average point. And here are the injury criteria. I'm not going to change them. So what next in my criteria? So I'm going to click just Control, and then I'm going to click N. So that's going to give me a whole new sheet. And in this sheet, I'm going to create another workbook. Okay, another sheet, sorry. And I am going to basically copy the data that I have, because when I filtered it out, if I just like put it into another sheet, it's not going to like maintain the filter. Okay, so I have to copy it. So just click Control Shift and an arrow to the right, and we're going to Control C, Control V that, and put it into my book. I don't think that was the one that I wanted to work on. It matters what you want to work on. And then I'm going to say Control V, and then that is for sheet 2. I'm just going to wait for it to load. And then for sheet 1, we're going to go to the other sheet of data that we want to work on. So why am I copying these? Because, as I said, we want to maintain the filtered status of the data that we have. Okay, so I just clicked 2 more times, because basically Control-Shift arrow to the right would mean that you only go to the farthest area where there's text, but sometimes there's no text. So basically just Control-C, and I'm going to go here, and not here, not here. I'm going to go to my original sheet. So why is this even here? This bothers me. So whatever, I'm just going to Control-V that. So here I have the data, and I have 2 sheets of data. And what I want to do is I want to link them together. Okay, so it's a very good idea to link both of your sheets together. So for this example, we want this row okay, to be exactly equal to that row. But we do have all the numbers that are here as well. But what we want to do and have to do is realize that there's a dash 1 and a dash any number here. So in order to remove that, what I've done here is, oh, I haven't done it? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do it together. So we are going to go, so yeah, this is concerning. So just a second here. So I'm just going to, like, yeah, because I could have sworn I had an ID here. Yeah, okay, so no problem. So, okay, back to business. We need to get rid of that dash 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to the right and I'm going to click equal mid of that, and I only need 1 to 4. So would that work? Yes. So basically it just indices from that cell from the first character to the fourth character, which is 4 numbers, so that makes sense. And just double clicking that plus sign would work for every adjacent cell. So now I think we have a row here. Now it is true that, sorry, we have a column here, and it is true that it is at the very end of the sheet, but that's no problem. What we can do is we can open up an entirely new sheet, okay, and just delete it. Yeah, I don't like that sheet. Yeah, I'm going to open one here, okay, and I'm going to click on data, get data, from file, from workbook, and what I will try to do is, so I think I must have done something incorrectly. So, launch Power Query Editor. So, data source settings, close. Just close that. So I'll just open that query and okay. So hopefully there is a solution, and that solution lies in the fact that we are going to basically just save this as book 4, okay? So we're going to save this as book 4, and in this sheet we are going to click data, get data, and then go to book 4. So yeah, it's a kind of a multi-step process. So we're going to click select multiple items, sheet 1, sheet 2. That basically should do it. And we're going to click transform data. Okay. So basically we have sheet 1 and sheet 2 right in front of us. So the first thing that I advise you to do is just go here to transform data type and make it text. Okay. Yeah, just keep it text because it can get messed up really, really quickly. And go here and click text as well. Okay, and then you can click on this column, this table right over here, and click on use first row as headers. Okay, and so just go back and write text. Okay, so I don't think I need to do that here, but right now it looks way better, and I have my delta x's, y's, and z's in that fashion. They look fabulous. And now you'd realize something here, okay? So let's just realize it later, okay? But this thing is a text. This is a text, but this does not contain the same format as this one because it has a -1 at the end. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go to the last column here, so to the last column here, and make sure that it is text as well. So go back and press text and replace current. So right now you'd have this one as text and this queries as new. So click on the arrow. It'll be a lot more organized if you mess things up. You'll go to sheet 1 and then sheet 2, and then you'll click on where you think. I'm just gonna shift them. Yeah. So I think we need to merge by this column and this column. Okay, so the selection matches all the rows, and you just press OK. So we're gonna have a new merge that contains the things that we need. But hey, so in this area we have a lot of data. It's 50 percentile, it's subpart, and we have a lot of comments here. We'll only have the injury criteria. We do not have the delta X, Y, and Z's. So where can I find that? You go here, you go to the sheet 1 here, okay? And then I'll click here, and I'll click the things that I want. And Excel will automatically bring these columns to me from sheet 1. So I'll press OK, and I have delta X, Y, and Z right over here. So now I have this new wonderful table that contains the data that I finally want. But if you look at this data, it is full of absolutely useless data, like a four-door sedan. I know that, you know. Okay, so the vehicle weight is not important to me in my analysis. So what am I going to do? Okay, so we need to format this data even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Close and Load To, and I'm going to make it a pivot table report. So, and make sure it's checked on New Worksheet and press OK. And so here's what it's going to do. Just hold on with me for a moment. Okay. So it's going to, so right now we have all the items in merge 1, and we're going to select which ones we need to go as rows and which one we need to go in values. So this is confusing, but let me tell you what I mean. Okay. Wonderful. We're going to go here and apply test number. Yeah, we do need test number. That is important. And we're going to put, well, these things do not matter. So you just scroll and see what you want. So the occupant sex is important. And so I think we only have males in our selection. I'm not sure. I don't see an F, so I'm just going to assume all of them are males. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that. And the dump size, the HIC, so these are the injury criteria. And so everything that is a criterion we're going to put here in the values section. So HIC, left femur load, right femur load, delta X, delta Y, and delta Z. Okay, so basically we have all of these for these tests, and what we want to do now is we want to work. So you can go here and write your formulas, but that's not very advisable. So what is advisable is that you would go here and Control-Shift and to the right and copy this data into a new worksheet. But you don't want to copy it as a pivot table. You want to copy it by values only. And now you can do your analysis. So just to recap, this analysis is of a four-door sedan. It is of the tow-pan area, and specifically all the points in the tow-pan. Additionally, it is for the left front driver, and it is frontal impact. Yep. And I think that's it in terms of our analysis. So we're going to try to be finding three things for each criterion. So we're going to try to find the correlation. So the correlation between HIC, which is head injury, and delta X. Okay, and so I'm trying to find the correlation between the head injury and delta Y. And we're going to try to find the correlation between HIC and delta Z. So delta X is a measure of the frontal crush. Delta Y is a measure of the side crush. And delta Z is a measure of the crush that occurs perpendicular to the vehicle. Okay, so based on my intuition, I would think that the correlation would be very high with any injury criterion and delta X, because delta X is the axis that is from the front of the vehicle to the back of the vehicle. So the more the crush, the more the injuries. That is what my intuition is. Now, does this data support the conclusion? Well, let's find out. So basically, we're just going to try to make these look easier. So this is dz, this is dy, and this is dx. Okay. So no, wait a minute. I think we did not include. Oh, delta x is here. Okay, so it looks really bad here, but this is left femur. So, and I'm just gonna REFM, just try to make them look better. Okay, and this is clip 3M, and this is HIC. Okay, so the correlation is a very simple equation in Excel. So we'll equals correl and HIC, and then comma, and with what you want. So delta x is here. So as expected, it's a very high correlation, so it's 0.9. What I hope is that all the other correlations are low. Okay, so we're going to say correlation with the head injury correlation and HIC and delta y. What is that? It's 0.902. It's really high, but it's less than with x. And so this one should really be low, but I think it'll be a little high. So we're going to try with correlation with HIC and delta z. Okay. So let's try that again. Yeah, it's because I selected a single cell and not a row. So sorry for that. And that will be delta z. And that will give me 0.944. So all in all, it makes sense that they're all in the 0.9 section, because the toe pan area is the first area to be hit when a car has frontal impact. So also the X correlation and the HIC is higher, so that makes a lot more sense. Okay. So we're going to try to find the injuries for all the other criteria. So we're going to be correlation between clip 3M and delta X. Okay. So we're going to try to copy these and make my life easier, essentially. Okay. And just edit them as we go. So yeah. Delta X. Here it'll be delta Y. And here will be delta Z. So clip 3M, we're just going to write the equation. It's not really hard, but we're going to be selecting the appropriate index, and we're going to be selecting the data. So it's 0.9. So clip 3M. So it's interesting that the impact of like the toe pan area has a direct correlation with the 10 millisecond clip of maximum load on the chest, which is basically the meaning of clip 3M. Okay, So, and we're going to calculate it here. So we are going to go with clip 3m, and we're going to go with clip 3m and y. It's 0.89, so it's basically following the same order as these two right over here. So that makes me a little more sure of my data. And then clip 3m and the z will give me 0.97. So this is not surprising. So we can see that they all follow the same relative order. So here HIC and delta Z is basically a little higher because like Z is going up and like all kind of intrusion would be both in the X and Y, sorry, in the X and Z direction of a car. Okay, so we're not finished yet. Okay, so we want to find correlation between clip, sorry, not between, but between the right femur and the X. And you can do both for the left femur, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to select the right femur because I basically think the right femur always has more pressure. Okay, so, well, here, left femur, right femur. Oh, the right femur has higher pressure loads. Okay, so for some data, we don't even have data on left and right femur. But anyways, we're going to select the correlation between right femur and delta X. Okay, so basically that is a very high correlation. And it does make sense, but that is like seriously, seriously high. Okay, and then the correlation, well, I'll just write it again. I like to be organized, but so that's going to be delta Y. And that's going to be the correlation. Thank you, Excel autocorrect. And we're going to select this one, and then delta Y. And so it's less, and I expect the correlation between the right femur load and delta Z to be higher. I don't know, but I expect that correlation between clip 3M and delta Z. Okay, so clip 3M, sorry, between right femur and delta Z. And yep, it is higher. So basically the negative signs you should ignore, but in all cases, as we can see, the delta X correlations are higher than the rest, and that makes a lot of intuitive sense.